morning, everyone. So today I know it's all the good students are here. The dedicated ones. The aspiring scholars. People that take education seriously. Any questions before we start? I did get a question, an email, because I know students love email. They love it. They love email. It says, "Dear Robert," I'm going to skip the first sentence. "I have a question about the Research Method Coursework 1. It asks us to summarize a research paper written by SCS researchers from Nottingham. But if it has 5 different authors, but only 4 of them are from Nottingham, is it still available? Whether we need to mention his school when we record the video, thank you for answering." So it turns out I have already answered this question. I've already answered it. Yeah. So if you go to coursework 1, you can read the answer here if you want to, or you can scroll down to the bottom-ish and where it says references and extra help. And there are 2 videos. One's called 18 Questions and Answers on Coursework 1. The other one's called Research Methods Coursework 1, 5 More Questions, Answers, and Advice. So I've answered that question in there, but I can answer it again. Only one of the authors needs to be from the School of Computer Science at the University of Nottingham. And you identify who that author is in your coursework 1 submission. It's 1 or more. Could be more, could be only 1. Does that make sense? Another question?
Some question about Zach's reference, 18 questions and answers.
Yep.
And I watched these videos, but I only can listen after. I can't know what's the question actually. And the question is not recorded.
Just look in the description. If you look in the video description, you see all the questions.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Someone asked me, can we see examples from last, or good examples? Yes, examples of very good previous coursework submissions there. That's also in coursework 1. I got a really good question on Wednesday after class. So if you scroll down even further, it talks about the assessment. And the question was, how do I get into this upper range here? What kind of a submission do I need to get a score between 80 and 100? And that's a good and not such an easy question. So I added a little bit of content on how to get into that range. So if you do the exercise very well from a scientific point of view, you'll probably get in the range of a 70 to 80. But then the question is, how do you get above an 80, like into that really, really high range, right? So I added a little bit of content and a little bit of guidance on there. In addition, so this is that last, 10 to 20%. If you really want to get up in above 80, between 80 and 100. In addition, a special effort was put into the aesthetics of the video and editing to make it engaging, for example, music and graphical enhancements. And I should say engaging at a professional level. So like putting a little effort into the aesthetics and the engagement aspects is like really what gets it up there to the 80s and 90s. Yeah, you're not required to get to the 80s and 90s, but I'm just pointing this out because it was a really good question. The answer is not that easy, but I'm trying to give you an answer now, if that makes any sense. So it should be publishable. That's the idea, to get a 90, between a 90 and 100. It's a video that could be published. That means it could be put on the University of Nottingham website as like a video, right? Or somewhere, published somewhere else, like open to the public. Like that kind of quality. Does that make any sense? Okay. If there are any other questions, just feel free to ask or shout or interrupt. So today's workshop is about visualization, and it's pretty straightforward. Well, kind of. So it's really kind of a preparation for coursework 2. It's related to coursework 2. So we form groups of 4 to 6. Each member of the group writes down a dream data set. If you could have any data set in the entire universe, real or fictitious, what would it be? Right? You could have anything. That's step 1. Identify your dream data set. Like any data set, it doesn't have to be real, right? It could be fictitious. Anything. Then you actually try to find your dream data sets. So you imagine your dream data set. Each member of the group, by the way, does this. Like you write down your dream data sets. And then you try to find them. And you'll be surprised. Some of you will be surprised that your dream data sets exists. They're out there already. Here are some links to places you can look for your data. And then, using one of those data sets that you found, create an advanced chart using Google Sheets or Excel with a color legend. So that could be a tree map, a scatter plot, an area chart, or a stacked bar chart. What you're not allowed to use is bar charts, line charts, pie charts, and bubble charts. Right? Everybody here has already created bar charts, line charts, pie charts. Like anybody can do that, right? The kids in school can do that now. We're not here to just create more bar charts. And then include in a Google Doc the names of your group members and the description of your dream data, the URL of the actual data source you used, and then a description of the data, and a screenshot of your advanced chart. And try to make an observation, like what does your chart show? Can you learn something about the data from the chart that you created? Yeah. That's today's exercise. A little bit more challenging than some of the previous ones. Any questions about that? Okay, let's form some groups then. Okay, how about you three? You three can be in a group, yeah. That makes sense. How about you three? Can you three like to be in a group? How about you two? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in a group? Yep.
So all members of the group have to write the dream data, but we have to choose one.
That's right. That's right. So every member of the group writes down their dream data set, but you only you choose one. You only find one to focus on and then create a chart. Yeah. If you have time to do more than one, that would be good. But you might not have time to do more than one. And I imagine everybody's doing the search for their dream set, data set, and whoever finds their data set can choose that one for the chart.
Yeah, these will be